All right, hello. It's currently 2:38, almost 3 o'clock in the morning, and I just got done rewatching No Way Home. It's such a good movie, and I just figured that maybe I should talk about it. With me have watching it 2 times, once sober and once not. I could probably get into my experience with the movie and what I thought about it, as well as what my buddies who I went and watched the movie with thought. And I rewatched it like maybe a couple of minutes ago, just so the thoughts that I had initially while watching the movie. I rewatched it in hopes of those initial thoughts just coming back. So I can guarantee you my initial thoughts are still the same. I'm just less drunk. So what I want to get into with this video is basically a spoiler-free review of No Way Home. I I saw a bunch of reviews that tried to be spoiler-free, but they just couldn't quite make the quota. It's not that hard to not spoil a Spider-Man movie. I mean, it's a Spider-Man movie. Come on. Real quick, in the background, you see the Fortnite fucking Chapter 3 or whatever gameplay. Because I don't, unfortunately, own Spider-Man for the PS4 or PS5 anymore. And I had to settle for the next best thing for gameplay footage, which is Fortnite. And I tried to do as much swinging as possible to keep it in the mood of Spider-Man, so I can get all my thoughts out there about the web slinging menace. So, Spider-Man: No Way Home starts off pretty strong. It if you've watched No Way Home, wait, no, that's the one. That's the new one. If you've watched Far From Home, you will know how it starts off strong because it picks up immediately where that left off, with Mysterio revealing that Peter Parker is Spider-Man to the world. And admittedly, the movie in the beginning does a pretty okay job at depicting that, what Peter Parker would be going through if the world knew that he were Spider-Man. And they did a great job recasting fucking J.K. Simmons as fucking J. Jonah Jameson. Let me tell you, that from Far From Home just made me so ecstatic for this installment of the Tom Holland Spider-Man films. So, after we pick up where the last film left off, everything else just kind of falls into place on its own, which I consider a problem with the film. I don't really like when stories just kind of fall into place conveniently, but I mean, there is a decent amount of that in this movie, but at the same time, it's not too big a deal because it's fucking Spider-Man. And everything they did in this movie, I personally think works. I'm a fucking huge Spider-Man shell out. If you fucking held a gun up to my head and told me to fucking name every single Spider-Man in existence, I'd look at you, I'd take your gun, and I'd shoot you, and then I'd still go on to list off all versions of Peter Parker or Spider-Man. So they have a guest appearance towards the beginning of the film from another Marvel character because, you know, Sony can't go like 5 minutes without two fucking MCU well, not even MCU in this case, but two different Marvel characters than Spider-Man being in their movie, which is not bad by any means. I'm not saying that like it's a problem. I fucking love that. Putting Tom Holland's Spider-Man in the MCU was probably the best thing they could have done. And I think in this movie they definitely did him justice. I've seen across the internet a bunch of people complaining about Tom Holland's Spider-Man, saying a bunch of shit like he's not true enough to the comic character Peter Parker. Go fuck yourself. It's a goddamn movie based on a comic book. I'm pretty sure nobody had these same guttural reactions to Ben Affleck playing Batman. Or maybe they did. I couldn't tell you. I don't like Batman, and I never really have. Except I like the animated versions of Batman and comic Batman. I can't get behind DCU. Now, personally, I think DC's movies have been pretty good recently, but I'm not a fucking critic. I just want to talk about Spider-Man, and I'm doing a pretty shit job at that. Alright, so I finally got my thoughts together and figured this out. So initially, when I went in to first watch No Way Home, I had assumed it would be much like Far From Home, and I thought I wouldn't like it, because I thought maybe, just maybe, the people directing it wouldn't be capable of producing a big-ass film in the scope of No Way Home that I had originally assumed No Way Home would be. My initial thoughts were that the movie was going to be like, I don't know, just jam-packed full of shit that they just weren't going to have enough time to do anything with. And with this movie being like 2.5 hours long, it's honestly, they did a decent enough job with it. I'm not complaining about that, but the movie does drag some part, like after the beginning. I wasn't really there for it the whole time in my like excitement. I sat down throughout the whole film, even to the fucking credits, and oh dear God, don't get me started on the after credits. I'm not even gonna talk about them. I can't. I don't know why I fucking thought I could. Anyways, two of my buddies who I went to watch the movie with, and by the way, I'm just gonna set the mood here. We were at the theater, obviously, and we were all drunk as fuck. And we went into Spider-Man No Way Home expecting it to be the greatest fucking movie of all time. And that's not because of them, it's because of me. I hyped this movie up like there was no fucking, like it just couldn't be beat. It was like the fucking holy grail of movies. And when I went in there, I was it wasn't that, let me tell you. But it was a pretty good movie. I liked it, but then again, I love all things Spider-Man, so I didn't have a problem with it one way or the other. They, however, did point out that it started to drag, and that really got my opinion to be that, because I started to see where they were coming from, because they went to the fucking bathroom for like 30 minutes right in the middle of the movie, at the fucking inciting action or whatever, the fucking incident to get you to the climax. Fucking, they left to the bathroom for 30 goddamn minutes, and they were sitting in there making people think that they were profusely shitting their brains out, and then they were throwing fucking toilet paper at one another. This is what I heard. I was too busy enjoying myself in the movie, and I couldn't enjoy myself because I was alone and drunk in a dark room full of random people. That was fucking bad. I hated that. But, anyways, they do like a decently good job at keeping everything closely knit together and making it all enjoyable and not overwhelming. I'd say a complaint that you could have is that it's a bit much like Spider-Man 3 from the Raimi trilogy, but at the same time, I think they did it better. I think this Spider-Man 3 is the first Spider-Man 3, but done properly. And everybody who was on board making the movie actually liked it. Unlike Raimi and his big fallout with Sony or whatever the fuck he had going on. Everybody had their shit together this time around, thankfully. And they all really worked hard to make the movie as good as it was. I didn't see any, like, bad acting. I mean, maybe from the guy who plays as Flash Thompson. But, I mean, Flash isn't really a main character to the movie, so it's perfectly fine if he didn't have the best acting. I'm not gonna knock the film for it. Hold on, what's his name? I need it. It's Doc Ock. Give me a second. Okay, I figured out my shit again. His name is Alfred Molina. I don't know if I said that properly. I probably didn't, but my apologies, I guess. Every scene with him made me so happy. They did Dr. Octavius so well in this movie. I'm not gonna say they did him perfect. No, not even fucking Sam Raimi's did him perfect. But for what Sam Raimi's Doc Ock was, they did that Doc Ock. And they made it fan-fucking-tastic. Every moment with that motherfucker just put a smile on my face. Let me tell ya. Dr. Octavius. My least favorite Spider-Man villain, but god damn it, my best favorite on film Spider-Man villain. Right next to Willem Dafoe as Green Goblin and James Franco as Gobby Jr. or whatever the fuck his name was in Spider-Man 3. What was his name? We'll call him Gob Jr. or something. I don't know. Gob Jr. is the funniest thing that'll come to my mind right now because, like I said earlier, it's like 3 in the fucking morning. I've never critiqued a movie before. This is an interesting situation I'm in because I don't know what the fuck to talk about. All I know is that I've seen a couple people talk about some movies, and I was like, that looks like it's fun. Now I know that you should probably do a lot of more research if you're going to be doing these kinds of videos, and I know that for next time. So, what can I leave you with? Because there's still a shit ton more Fortnite footage, let me tell you. I might just save the rest of it for another time, but if you can leave this video with anything, just know that if you're going into this new Spider-Man movie, No Way Home, and you're expecting the best Spider-Man film of all time because one of your friends, like me, would have told you this before they even saw the movie, just on hype alone, don't believe them. I wish I didn't believe myself. I thought this movie, I had such high expectations for it. That's on me for not liking it as much as I thought I would. Don't go in it expecting everything to be the best that it could possibly be, because it's not. There's far better Spider-Man material out there. But this movie, I will tell you this now, if you like any of the other Spider-Man movies, you're gonna like this one. Homecoming, Far From Home, and No Way Home. If you like any of those movies, you're gonna like this one. Now, why they went with Spider-Man Homecoming, Spider-Man Far From Home, and Spider-Man No Way Home, I couldn't tell you. I personally wish they would have went with Spider-Man 1 through 3, then The Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2, and then The Spectacular Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3. That's how I'm going to address Tom Holland's Spider-Man from here on out. That's how I believe everyone else should, because, let me tell you, right before the end of the movie is something fucking special. I was drunk as fuck the first time I watched it, and it was like having a wet fucking dream. Let me tell you, it's like, oh, it's hardcore fucking nutquake. Ugh, dude, the shit it shows is so fucking, oh god, I really wish I was making a video with spoilers so I could spoil the shit out of this, because it's so fucking awesome. It literally fucking grabbed me by my little fucking boy pussy and then tugged on my nuts, and it made me cry because of how fucking awesome it was. That's literally the only reason. It's not sad. It's not invigorating. It's just, if you know, you know. You know? And I knew a couple of other people knew, but not the people I wanted to know knew. And let me tell you, 3 drunk men sitting right next to each other at a movie theater watching Spider-Man who don't entirely share the same opinion of Spider-Man, it's a bit weird, but it's definitely fun. I recommend you go to a movie theater drunk if you're of age. I'm not, so I can't necessarily recommend it, but I'm going to anyways. For people who are 21 and older, I got about a year left in like 8 days. So, yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about Spider-Man. If you like Spider-Man, it's going to be a fantastic movie for you. I don't think you won't enjoy it. If you don't like Spider-Man, I'm sure you'll still enjoy it, because it's a fucking Marvel movie. Now, Marvel movies are by no means the best, and I don't think everybody likes Marvel movies, but, you know, it's a Marvel movie. It's not gonna fucking hurt you. If you're watching it with your fucking friends or family and you're not a fan of Spider-Man personally, there's still a lot for you to enjoy in that. It's a Spider-Man movie. That there's really nothing else I can say. If I had to rate the movie, I'd probably give it, well, I'd probably give it at least a 7 out of 10. And if I could rate the ending specifically, I'd have to say the ending for me would have to be a solid 9.5 out of 10. Because I'm that guy who knows the know, and I'm sure quite a bit of different people are gonna know the know. There's also like a joke towards the end, and it references something pretty cool, and I would certainly love to see that come to fruition, especially with a certain little special Spider-Man movie coming out after this one that I'm excited to go watch, that I'm not going to watch in theaters because that would be stupid. Yeah. Honestly, good movie. If you go in and you watch it without the spoilers, you're going to have a fantastic experience. I went in with no spoilers. I just went in with, like, my assumptions. And I didn't get to do that for Endgame. So I'm glad I could bring it to this. And let me tell you, best movie I've watched in 2 years. 3 technically, because Dragon Ball Super Broly came out 3 years ago. And I don't know about Endgame. Dragon Ball Super Broly is still a significantly better movie than this Spider-Man movie. But that might be because I'm a Dragon Ball guy. And the Dragon Ball Super Broly is just a really good movie. Yeah. I'm gonna leave you with that. I've been fucking rambling for too long. This is what happens when you let me fucking stay up all night on ketamine. Jesus. So yeah, if you liked the video, if you found this review enticing or interesting in any way, which, what the fuck is wrong with you? It's not that, I can promise you. I guess like the video. I honestly don't care. Dislike the fuck out of it. It's not gonna bother me. And in fact, you know what? Why don't you click that the share link button, and you share it around your Facebook groups, and you tell your mom to come over here and throw some slander my way, because I need that right about now. Sorry this isn't like a usual video I would make, but I just kind of wanted to sit down and talk about Spider-Man because it's so fresh in my mind. And I wanted to do it without spoilers because I already made the thumbnail for a spoiler-free review of Spider-Man No Way Home before I sat down and did this. So, completely unprofessional, I know. Thank you if you stuck around this long. I know it's like 20 fucking minutes of me ranting and not talking about the subject at hand, which is Spider-Man. But thank you for watching, sincerely, and happy holidays. Whatever you celebrate, enjoy it. I personally don't celebrate because, you know, gangster and whatnot, and I'm just too cool for Christmas spirit or holiday spirit or whatever. So, like, you do your thing, I'll do mine. Goodbye.
Number. Yes, it is. It's the magic number. Somewhere in this hip-hop soul community was born 3 next to me, and that's the magic number.